Every day, white South Africans flood the internet with reports of crime and violence in our country and the government's inability or unwillingness to do anything about it. There's not much optimism in South Africa's internet traffic. Much of it is bitter, angry and fearful. And above all, we don't know what to do about the situation, and there doesn't seem to be any future for our country other than economic decline and violence. This situation has destroyed investor confidence in the country, and the resulting recession is beginning to hurt a great many people. We now know that the African National Congress is not capable of running a modern country like ours. And if we simply take no action, then their ignorance and corruption will continue to destroy whatever we have and leave us nothing except ruination, violence and bloodshed. Of course, we have representation talking to the government, for example, AfriForum. But AfriForum's words are directed at backward and ignorant people who can't understand what is being said to them. They don't want to hear it anyway. Every day we hear about some new farm attack or hijacking or armed robbery or murder or rape or state corruption or grand theft on a national scale. And all we do is talk about it or post about it on Facebook and YouTube. We need to face the fact that South Africa's population of whites and Asians are the only ones who can save the country, not only for ourselves, but for tens of millions of black people who could succeed. They could succeed if only they had decent leadership. And those people in power need to understand that there are many South Africans amongst the whites and Asians who are potentially more powerful than they are. We are not afraid of them. And make no mistake, if we decide to act, we will be capable of getting rid of them. They need to understand that. Then we would not be idiotic enough to try to regain the reins of government. We would have the much wider aim of supporting a new and better black government that can succeed instead of failing as miserably as the ignorant and corrupt ANC has done. And this new black government would never try to impose the socialistic ideas that have failed everywhere and can never succeed in a million years. AfriForum is already cooperating with the tiny political party, the People's Congress, or COPE as they call themselves. But without any brute power, this cooperation has not a snowball's hope in hell of getting anywhere. Now, in order for us to save the situation, what we need is brute power. There's no getting away from it. We know that the ANC and their leftist friends will fight tooth and nail to hold on to power, even if it means bringing the country to its knees. And without brute power, all we can do is complain and send posts to Facebook and YouTube until everything comes crashing down. And AfriForum needs to understand this simple truth, that if they want to continue leading us, if they want to continue their leadership role, they have to understand the necessary for brute force. And if they can't or won't understand this necessity, then we'll have to get someone who does. We have no shortage of military specialists who can assess what we need and what it will cost. And we are also not short of the national energy to raise the money, even if it comes to billions. This enormous issue is not just about South Africa. The South African crisis is part of the great biblical struggle that John called Armageddon. And this Armageddon struggle is already underway between the Judeo-Christian world and the international left. If we have any regard for biblical prophecy, we need to acknowledge that there will never be any peaceful settlement with the left. You cannot reason with leftists. On the contrary, the solution will be violent. And that is a fact we need to face. So get a copy of God versus the Left, which will show you where we are in these troubled times. And this is Paul Kaplan signing out and thanking you for your time and attention.